In the early 1900s, motion pictures were viewed primarily as scientific novelties. Stories were captured as static recordings of vaudeville routines or a single staged tableau. Early cameras, like the mutograph, were massive, industrial instruments. They were bolted to the floor, acting as a permanent front-row theater patron. Directors simply rolled the film for an unbroken 90 seconds, capturing wide shots from a fixed, unblinking distance. V.W. Griffith had little interest in camera mechanics. His primary ambition was to become a revered writer. Having grown up on the novels of Charles Dickens and Leo Tolstoy, Griffith wanted to weave complex, emotionally layered narratives. He realized the rigid, stage-bound camera was too limited for the multi-layered stories he wanted to achieve. To capture a novel's depth on celluloid, the camera could not remain a passive observer. Griffith set out to break the physical boundaries of the stage and create a visual language based on psychology. The first major rule he broke was proximity. By moving the heavy camera closer to an actor during a scene, Griffith forced the audience to focus on specific emotional details rather than the entire stage. Studio executives resisted this change. They worried that audiences, accustomed to seeing full bodies on a stage, would interpret a face filling the screen as a gruesome decapitation. Griffith trusted the audience's ability to interpret the fragment. Because the lens now picked up microscopic facial movements invisible from a theater's back row, a furrowed brow or a quiver of the lip could convey an entire internal struggle. This made the grand, sweeping gestures of the stage look comically artificial on screen. Breaking a single scene into various wide shots and close-ups created a new challenge. Griffith had to find a way to stitch these fragmented perspectives together without disorienting the viewer. The movement match links a gesture in a wide shot directly into a close-up, using motion to mask the cut. The direction match dictates that a character exiting right must enter the next shot from the left, maintaining geographic consistency. By alternating a shot of a character looking off-screen with a shot of what they were seeing, Griffith formalized the eyeline match. This aligned the audience physically and psychologically with the character's perspective. These rules formed the basis of classical continuity editing. They created an architectural system that allowed the human brain to perceive a series of separate shots as one smooth, unbroken reality. Once Griffith mapped cinematic space, he began manipulating cinematic time through parallel editing or cross-cutting. He realized he could weave rapidly between simultaneous events happening in different locations. This technique allowed him to manufacture urgency, leading to the last-minute rescue. In The Lonely Villa, Griffith managed 3 simultaneous tracks: breaking robbers, a barricaded family, and a rushing father. As the climax approached, he mathematically shortened the duration of each cut, accelerating the rhythm to manufacture an almost unbearable spike in adrenaline. By compressing screen time through these editing rhythms, Griffith turned the camera into a machine capable of directly influencing the audience's heart rate and stress levels. These innovations culminated in massive feature epics. Griffith pushed past the standard 10-minute reel to build multi-generational narratives that spanned over 3 hours. To capture these worlds, he constructed immense elevator towers on tracks, completely unbinding the camera from the ground to achieve a soaring, omniscient perspective. However, this newly forged grammar carried a risk. The mechanics of editing proved to be a potent tool for cultural persuasion. In The Birth of a Nation, Griffith used point-of-view editing and rhythmic cross-cutting to frame a racist ideology. By aligning the camera physically and psychologically with the Ku Klux Klan, while framing their victims as predators through direction matches and close-ups of terrified faces, the editing itself dictated who the audience should fear. The film triggered nationwide protests and calls for censorship. It showed that cinematic syntax could be used to manipulate public allegiance by structuring how a viewer perceives morality. The technical mechanics of the cut are neutral, but Griffith's work demonstrated how easily these tools can be used to dictate a specific ideology through the arrangement of images. The architectural blueprint established over a century ago still dictates how we watch movies today. Modern directors still move close to generate empathy, match physical action to orient the viewer, and cross-cut between simultaneous tracks to spike adrenaline. This visual language is so intuitive and successful that we no longer notice it. The logic Griffith developed has become the standard way we perceive reality on a screen. Every time we watch a screen and seamlessly comprehend a sequence of fragmented images, we are reading the exact psychological language D.W. Griffith authored.